And we're live. Good evening, everyone. I'm Neha from GETI, that is Global Education and Training Institute, founded and conceptualized by Dr. Sunita Gandhi with the vision of disrupting education so that we can spearhead a different world for education. And on the same lines, we also train teachers. We provide in service and pre service training for them. And alongside, on the same banner, we also organize deep talks where we invite bureaucrats, policymakers, educators to discuss various best practices. And today, without much ado, I am very thrilled and honored to have amongst us Ms. Chetna Malhotra from the Rangbhoomi Applied Theatre Organization based in Mumbai. She's also being joined by her two very enthusiastic colleagues, Roshan and Lini, and their topic today is very unconventional, something that we have not discussed till now in any of our talks, that is applied drama in classrooms. The topic is intriguing, not just for me, but I think for most of our audiences as well, because my brief interaction with ma'am reminded me that this is a topic that has not been taken up, at a very grand level in India as well. So I am very excited to have you, ma'am, and Roshan and Lini as well. A very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. Please, ma'am, the stage is yours. And to Roshan and Lini as well. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Neha, and thank you, Dr. Sunita Gandhi, for such an amazing platform. And I definitely follow your page, and I look at many conversations recently with a lot of schools. I think with Ajmera group of schools that you've been doing some amazing conversations. So, namaste, everybody, people who are watching us.
Namaste
Welcome,
everyone.
welcome. So, yes, Dini can also say namaste. Yes.
Yeah, namaste everyone. Welcome.
All right. So today, we've been very fortunate enough to have this platform, which is going to a lot of people I know. And after that, also, I think the recordings can be viewed later. So this is going to be about applied drama in classrooms. Yes, we've heard of many things. So today we're going to deconstruct a lot of things and myths and a lot of stories around applied drama theater as we view it. So we work at Rangbhoomi, all three of us. And Rangbhoomi is an applied theater organization, and we work with children in schools as a part of the integrated curriculum. That is, a child goes from grade 1 through 10 and beyond to applied theater as a part of their curriculum. Yes. Like geography, history, they also go through applied theater curriculum. What is applied theater? We'll come to in a while. Our work also encompasses a lot of work with teachers and educators because we know that more than us as applied theater artists, they are the real artists who work with children day in and day out. So, not we teaching the teachers, it's just that we co-facilitating, co-creating curriculum so that it is more engaging, it is more joyful, and teachers already know they are the subject matter expertise. And then we also work a lot with corporates as organizations, creating spaces of diversity and inclusion, unconscious bias, prevention of sexual harassment act at workplaces, a lot of work with the factory areas and often of a manufacturing unit, because that's where a lot of ground level work grassroots level work happens. So that is about Rangbhoomi. We are almost 11 years old and at Rangbhoomi, and this is about us. And wait, excuse me, I have two friends who've just joined me. I would like to call them. Just they're knocking at the door. Just 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay, who are they? Oh, my friends are here. Okay, my friends, please go ahead.
Hello, namaste everyone. My name is Roshan. And when I heard about theatre, when I entered Rangbhoomi, I thought theatre wahi hoga. It is about watching a play, creating a performance, tali bajayenge, ho gaya. But when I got to know applied theatre, I got to know that it's like an ocean. There are so many things, so many modalities like theatre and education, drama and education. There is playback theatre, theatre of the oppressed. There is creative drama and so many others. And I was so amazed by it.
Red, orange, yellow, brown, pink. Oh wow, a whole lot of colors over here. And what a creation I can create. Namaste. My name is Lini, and I feel applied drama is a modality which helps students understand a world around them and their place in it. It helps students to extend their imagination beyond text and create their own world with a lot of joy. That is applied drama for me.
Yes, ma'am. So can I speak beyond the text also? Beyond the text also. Wow.
Hello, namaste. My name is Chetna. Yes, I was carrying the music piece. For me, applied theatre has been a part of my growing up years while I was schooled in Dehradun. Yes, many years ago, we had my English teacher who taught us through image theatre, a lot of work. And my geography teacher took us out to get wet in the rains and then talk about evaporation and condensation. It was a school which did not have a school in its name. It was called Dune Cultural Center. Yes, the school's name was Cultural Center. So for me, applied theater has been a part of my growing up years of stories from grandmothers, stories of neighborhoods, and then living them from the way that they come from. So for me, they have been a space of great energy.
My neighbors, my friends, my family, everyone around me is part of theater. Is part of theater.
Class without
Thank you, actors. Thank you. So that is a little introduction for what we feel about applied theatre. Thank you, Roshan and Lini. You can relax and sit. So a little bit about what the Roshan was talking about, applied theatre. Or what is applied theatre? We will come to that now. So maybe Roshan, if you can flash the slides, we can begin. So first, let's see what Rangbhumi is about. So Rangbhumi is an applied theatre organization which was founded with the vision of spreading joyousness, abundance. Mark my words, the first word is joyousness. Yes. So joy, everything follows joy. Even if it's learning, they say money or relationship. If there is joy, you can create a lot, and you can create a lot of abundance. Power of expression, as what Lini said, it goes beyond the text. Each one is valued. Compassion, not for others too, but for self too, that yes, I'm not wrong, and this could be a possibility. Love and a sense of equivalence amongst people. Well, the name Happy Playground, Rangbhumi, means the land of colors, the earth of colors, many colors. So, what are the practices that we look at if we look at in a more structured and scientific way? These are applied theatre facilitation practices that we create, our modalities through which we create our curriculum, our pedagogical framework. This is well researched, and we've been trained in these modalities by mentors in India and outside. And this has been successful, been running in schools for past 10 years. They are drama for learning and reflection, theatre in education, playback theatre, creative drama, theatre of the oppressed, participatory research program, very interesting. A lot of history, science can be taught through participatory research program. Grips Theatre, which is a theatre form from Germany, which looks at the contextuality of issues where the adults perform for children without like coloring our hair if we have grays or shaving out a beard. We become them, but not becoming them. Performance art, and then online theater programs. We've not stopped through COVID. It's been a beautiful time through COVID that we've connected with people internationally. So these are some forms. I'm sure people are watching us. Some of it may be new to you. Some of it may be absolutely known to you. So if you have any queries or questions, you can please post it and we can get through Neha. Through Neha, we'll get to know. So while we were talking with Neha backstage, well, she did ask about what is drama, what is theater, what is applied theater. So let's talk about that a bit. Maybe if you can pull down the slides, we'll come to that. So drama and theater, first of all, let's clarify that. दोनों एक चीजें नहीं है. Theater, if we see the history of theater, it comes from a Greek word called theatron. Yes, theatron, and you know the Greek theaters were huge, and live theater, open spaces where 10,000, 20,000 people could watch. And also the Greek theater called Epidaurus, if I may say, in about 10,000 BC had a space outside of this theater place where people could come and create a space for their mental health. Yes, a theater had an accommodation for people who can undergo a mental health treatment, or a space for them to heal. So theater were spaces of healing from the ancient times. Yes, so a theater where you can go and watch. हम लोग movie theater बोलते हैं, movie drama नहीं बोलते. Where we can go and watch. And what is drama then? Well, interesting. Drama comes again from the Greek word drawn, where it means to take action. That means it's a process. So drama jo hai, it's a process oriented process which may not result into a performance necessarily for an audience. It may result into a group creating a performance for each other, talking, presentation. It could be a facilitative dialogue. While theater results in a performance, and each one has their own beauty. अच्छा, ड्रामा और थिएटर तो हो गया. तो ये अप्लाइड थिएटर क्या है? What is applied theater? Well, applied theater is a very recent coined word, say about in early 2000s, where while a lot of work was happening in early 50s, early 60s in Brazil, in the UK. Well, a very interesting thing happened in the UK post World War II. Is post World War II, when the children were under a lot of depression, the government decided to fund a lot of schools. There were about 5 drama teachers per 100 schools then. And the government said these children must laugh and have joyous classrooms. So the government funded this, and there were almost 500 drama teachers per 100 classrooms. By 1948, 49, and 50s. By 50, 52, Dorothy Headcoat, one of the people, very important people who contributed in the work of applied drama, that's Dorothy Headcoat, who contributed the work of Mantle of the Expert. If you search www.mantleoftheexpert.org, you will see that schools run on this curriculum. The schools run on this curriculum. That means a school can adapt this Mantle of the Expert as a process, and you can run history, civics, geography through grade 1 to 12 on this process. So applied theater, agar hum wapas jaye, so it has many under this wing, like a school, like you have City Montessori School, Lucknow, and then you have grade 1, 2, 3, 4. Then under applied theater, there are many thoughts of schools of thoughts, like playback theater, theater of the oppressed, creative drama, theater in education, prison theater, museum theater. There are many. Well, I was sharing with Neha earlier that unfortunately in India, this has not been embraced by schools. Well, I say in UK and other European countries, the schools have adapted this as a pedagogical framework. And I'm sure people who are listening here are thought leaders, they are leadership people. Maybe this is a message for us to kind of, with the NEP coming in, to adapt this as a process. So the applied theater breaks the hierarchy of the student and teacher. It becomes a space of inclusion and a democratic. It's a very democratic theater where each voice is included, and it's created in the space of a class. So that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Arey.
Now, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. 28, 29, 30, 40, 50, and 51, and 52, and 53, and 54, 55, 56, 57. Yes.
Hey, Soham, what were you doing?
I was just studying. I was doing counting.
Don't tell me lies. I saw you. You were playing.
No. I was counting. I was really counting. This is the way I count.
And
Smooth
freeze.
Manolo.
And freeze. So, all these spectators who are watching us, there are two people on the screen. Yes, I finished my sentence saying that applied theater is very inclusive, it's very democratic. So, let's go ahead and see who are these two people. Where have they suddenly come from? I mean, we are doing this live. Yeah, you guys just entered. So, audience, I'm going to invite you to send us comments on who do you think are these two people who just entered our classroom. Hey, classroom में ऐसे कोई रहता है? Okay, who do you think? I think they are this father and the child scolding each other. So let's see. Look at their body language. Maybe look at the way that their hand gestures are. Look at the way that their posture is. So from this, we can figure out who are these two people. So let's see. These two people. Let's see the gentleman who's pointing fingers at us. Who is that person? So please, while say 1, 2, 3 live, and you be live. 1, 2, 3 live.
My name is Satish. I am elder brother of Soham. And I am telling him that he should study like how I study.
Oh, so this is a brother sibling thing, okay? And to study, okay, some commandment here, some commanding voice here. So please, yes, person with this cap, who are you and what are you doing here? Please, live.
I am Soham, and I was counting numbers with my ball. I'm younger brother of Soham.
Oh, you are Soham, and that's Satish, and your younger brother, and that's the elder brother, and you are playing, and he's with the book. I don't know what's happening here. Book and play, and book and play. So, audience, let's see what's going to happen now. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and live.
Soham, don't tell me lies, okay? I saw you. आप खेल रहे थे.
अरे नहीं भैया, this is the way I count. See, it is counting only. It is 1, 2, 3. So I play and study also.
What rubbish? हाँ? ये पढ़ाई ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है. पढ़ाई तो ऐसे होता है. टाइम टेबल बनाया जाता है तो पढ़ना चाहिए. बुक के साथ पढ़ते हैं. Not like this.
But I play and I get good marks also, na Soham bhaiya. I get my good marks.
नहीं. पढ़ाई और खेल साथ में नहीं हो सकता. कितने बार बोला है? चलो बुक ले.
Freeze. So yes, this is again, well, let me also tell you, this is one of the drama conventions called live and freeze, and you can do it in your classrooms. We'll get to that in a while. How do we do that? But here I see a conflict. Padhai and khel, sports, the way, or play maybe. Play and academics, padhai cannot happen at the same time. So audience, we want to know from you, is this true? Is it false? It is possible? It is not possible? Because there are many types of learners. Who knows? So let's ask Neha. Neha is right here. Neha, you saw what's happening. So what do you think that play and academics can happen like how Soham, the younger brother, was doing? Is that possible?
I think it's possible, ma'am. I think it depends from person to person, or maybe it depends on our conditioning. Some of us have been conditioned to believe that we can study like Soham's elder brother is studying, and I think I'm not very sure. I think it's very circumstantial, maybe. I mean, it depends.
Yes, absolutely. You got such a beautiful point here, Neha. Our conditioning, definitely. If we've been exposed to a certain way, that for us it is an easy way. Maybe the other one looks difficult. Yes, and for the younger brother who's very naughty and with all the balls and he's playing with, the other may look very impossible. Yes, but it is, and we have various types of learners, so it can be possible. So let's ask them what is their thought and how are they going to cross this boundary. So please, Satish, what is your conflict? Tell us, and what do you think about this conflict? Please, live.
देखिए, मैंने देखा हुआ है और मैं ऐसे ही करता हूँ. I prepare my timetable, and according to the timetable, I take those books and study. I sit and study, or I walk and study, but not like this.
Okay, thank you. And Soham, please, live. What do you think?
For me, it is different. अरे पढ़ाई तो कहीं से भी हो सकती है. I play and I count and I learn the numbers. I read stories and I learn about things. And मैं तो कभी-कभी देख कर भी, by looking and observing things, I can learn.
Wonderful. Thank you. observation, visual learning. It could be audio, like my son, he's say 17 and a half, and a lot of history that he's learned is through conversation with me and my partner. So it can happen. We have all sorts of learners. Yes, thank you so much, actors. You can release and come back as facilitators. So my very, very cute and little question is, do you all know this scene is from a very famous literature that is also taught in the textbook, Hindi textbooks of NCRT curriculum. We've actually made this story live in front of you. It's from a very famous play of a very famous classic Hindi writer. Any guesses? Anybody in the audience? Yes, it is related to brother.
Premchand,
There
I
is a
think.
word. Sorry?
Is it Premchand?
Yes, you get
Yes.
full marks, Neha. Yes, we will send a cupcake box to you at your address soon. Yes.
Although I will admit, I sort of overheard when backstage you mentioning some Premchand story, so I just took a very wild guess. So I don't deserve cupcakes, I think.
But you learned by that too, yeah. That was your framework of learning. Why not? So this is Bade Bhai Sahab by Munshi Premchand
Okay,
ji.
okay.
Yes, and it is also a part of the curriculum. So we did a two-way thing. We also had this scene alive, and through this scene, how can we create critical thought process? So similarly, maybe it just takes 5 minutes for a teacher to be her own self, his own self, or take two students, prepare them, and do this as 5 minutes as a warm up in a class, and then do the lesson. So what we did today were about two thought processes of drama convention. One was the freeze frame. The actors came and they froze, and then we asked the audience, or the children asked the children in the classroom through the gestures and postures, what do you think? Who do you think these two people are? It will also connect them with the transdisciplinary learning of the societal structures. That is this a
Yes.
person, a man, female, gender, relationship, father, teacher. Why is this a father always? Why can't this be a friend? So questions of critical questions. And then what we did is we also asked them to go live, like what do they think as characters. So the children are not only learning what Munshi Premchand said, they're also creating their ownership of that story. So though they
Understood.
may there is a text available, yet they are connecting it to their own self, which creates a larger ownership of the process.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we also established here that play definitely can be a part of your learning process. So play could be in process in the space of storytelling pedagogy or a sports pedagogy. And I recently heard CBSE has introduced comics as a part of the curriculum, getting moved into a comic like books where children can learn and enjoy reading it. So definitely
Absolutely.
we are almost there where theater is becoming a pedagogy. Maybe Roshan can flash the slides of why drama is important in the aims of education. Maybe first we can look at aims of education, of what the education can do. There are many slides before, Roshan. Roshan, aims of education. We'll go to there. What education can do. Slide before that. Yes, before that. Yes. So if you look at the aims of education, which is a proper paper presentation, you can find it on the internet. According to the looking at the policy of how education policy is made. So पहले हमें ये जानना जरूरी है कि how education policies or education curriculum are framed. So it is a backtrack formula. So we first see what do we look at the citizens of our country, what qualities, characteristics do we look at the citizens of our country, how should they be? आपको क्या लगता है audience, if you are watching us, tell us how would a citizen, you are a citizen, a suitable citizen, a good citizen must be like? Maybe empathy, sensitivity, decision making skills, could be respectful and honoring of the others. Yes, so all these skills are then looked at how the curriculum, it can be integrated. These skills can go back and made into some form of learning through the curriculum, so that when children study this, they also grow up to be citizens, which is again a cyclical process. Yes, they will have those qualities then. So that's how the curriculum and policies are made. So what are the aims of education in that context? Now we know this context. हमने context एक establish किया है संदर्भ में. What is the importance of education? First is the holistic development of children. बच्चों का सर्वांगीण एक विकास जो बच्चों का, and this is the first point of NEP. If you look at it, talks about holistic development of a child. Creative development, इनका रचनात्मक विकास होना चाहिए. Creative does not only mean painting. COVID has taught all of us how to be creative, to survive, and maybe in times that are to come, to also thrive. Yes, creativity of possibilities and solutions. सोशल डेवलपमेंट जो कि सामाजिक विकास बहुत जरूरी है, और एजुकेशन का एम रहता है, इट इज एन एम दैट हाउ अ चाइल्ड कैन ग्रो अप टू बी अ मोर सोशल सिटीजन एंड क्रिएट दोज spaces of social relationship with the people and human beings they are indulged in, and maybe animals and other ecosystem they are indulged with. फिजिकल डेवलपमेंट हमारा शारीरिक विकास, जो कि हमारे एजुकेशन में आप देखेंगे टाइम टेबल जो बनाते हैं उनमें देर आर पीरियड्स ऑफ पीई, देर आर पीरियड्स ऑफ ऑल्सो जिसको हम एक जनरल नॉलेज भी बोलते हैं, वो भी हमारा एक मेंटल विकास करता है फिजिकल डेवलपमेंट के साथ. देन थर्ड फोर्थ फिफ्थ इज एस्थेटिक सेंस, आर्ट बेस्ड जो सौंदर्य बोध. दिस इज हाईलाइटेड वेरी क्लियरली इन द पोजिशन पेपर्स ऑफ ऑल्सो NCF दैट आर्ट म्यूजिक और थिएटर के द्वारा कैसे how we can create a learning pedagogy. An aesthetic sense is so important to be a part of a social system. And the last is development of constitutional values, liberty, justice, fraternity, equality, जो हमारे constitutional values हैं, और how this must be integrated in the aims of education. So अगर आप देखेंगे थिएटर इन सभी को, ड्रामा, अप्लाइड ड्रामा या अप्लाइड थिएटर, और थिएटर एक्चुअली बाय इट्स टेक्सचर has these elemental aims. अगर आप देखेंगे थिएटर इज अबाउट होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट, इट क्रिएट्स क्रिएटिव पॉसिबिलिटी, बिकॉज थिएटर में बिल्कुल जैसे बोलते हैं, देयर आर मिलियन पॉसिबिलिटीज टू बी इन अ सर्टेन स्पेस, टू प्ले अ सर्टेन गेम और एन एक्सरसाइज. Theater is a very socialized texture. You work in groups. You are rejected for something sometimes in a group. How do you deal with that? You are accepted. How do you deal with that? Physical development. Yes, there are a lot of physical theater exercises. It helps you build a lot of art-based sense and appreciate life as per se. क्योंकि कई बार we see children getting into a mode of depression due to marks or maybe expectations. So appreciation aesthetic life can create this joy of living and development of constitutional values. ये theater में inbuilt होता है. Honoring the voices of the other and self, जो dignity है, liberty है, social justice की qualities, all of that is built in theater. So theater important क्यों है? अगर हमें quickly if we can look at that. Yeah, Roshan, we can go back a little, not this one. Not this, yeah. So how drama in education is useful, because it creates a knowledge of arts, it creates a space of uninhibited expression, improvisation, the जो हम improvisational exercises in games. But what they do is they build in a lot of non-judgmental space. That in this space, in this moment, this is what is required, and I decide to be this, and this is resulting in something, and that is not wrong, because this is what I did. वो एक्सरसाइज में मुझे वो करना था और मैंने वो करा, इससे मेरा सेल्फ एस्टीम बढ़ा और मेरी जो डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर बढ़ी, और मुझे नॉन जजमेंटल स्पेस मिली, दैट आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग इन द वे आई डिसाइड फॉर अ सर्टेन एक्सरसाइज, अ स्टेप टुवर्ड्स एन एक्सरसाइज. Drama creates a huge potential of learning experiences. Today, if you see, Lenny and Roshan became a certain character. After a few moments, they will be somebody else. Then they choose to be somebody else. So they are viewing a lot of the other person through their lens, and also learning from the other person's character. जैसे कि प्लेबैक थिएटर जो आपने कुछ आज बातचीत करी एक स्लाइड में, प्लेबैक थिएटर इज एन इम्प्रोवाइजेशनल फॉर्म ऑफ थिएटर where we listen to other people's story and we enact them then and there. So ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग एस्पेक्ट है कि हम दूसरे कोई स्टोरी को एक नाटकीय प्रदर्शनी में डालें. इट्स एन ऑन द स्पॉट. So a lot goes into this: listening, deeper empathy, detaching ourselves and then attaching. How do we do that? Then imagination. Imagination, I think, is a huge 21st century skills which NEP has been talking about, NCF 2005 is talking about. और समाधान करने की एक क्षमता, एक रेजोल्यूशन, उसकी एक पॉसिबिलिटी लाने की क्षमता जो है, वो ड्रामा एंड एजुकेशन के प्रोसेस से हमें आती है. So this, we cannot ignore this as a part of the curriculum learning process of how the aims of education is directly linked to the aims of why drama must be integrated in a learning process. So ये हमने समझ लिया. तो अब जो है ये जो हमारा अभी kind of made this into two halves. We've just spoken about the theoretical understanding of what is theater, what is applied theater, what are the various ways applied drama can work in our classrooms. उसकी हिस्ट्री के बारे में हमने थोड़ा पढ़ा, how Brazil में theater of the oppressed शुरू हुआ in 1950s and how it is done in classrooms with children, with teachers. We also looked at the work of Dorothy Headcoat, then Peter Slade, John Dewey, Jonathan Fox. He did playback theater, and how we've integrated all of this in a classroom academic pedagogical framework. So let's now look at some ways that in practicum, how can we integrate this as teachers? तो ये जानना हमें बहुत ज़रूरी है. It's very important that these drama conventions do not really require you to be an actor. Yes, these are actually done in schools by many schools around the world by teachers. And it doesn't require, second, a lot of space. Up classrooms where you can do, and it doesn't require you to be like a trained theater artist. Yes, so you can develop your own way of energy, your own way of designing a curriculum, and it can be done in very simplistic ways. So let's see some of the processes and how we can integrate this in various academic subjects. So let's watch one of them. 1, 2, 3, live.
अरे बड़े बढ़िया समझते क्या है अपने आप को, हैं? बड़े आए
छोटे से मैं भी देखता हूँ ना उसको.
नहीं देखते हैं, वो समझते क्या है. छोटे हैं तो क्या हुआ, हम बुद्धू बनाएंगे वो.
अरे ये छोटे का भी ना.
नमस्कार सरपंच जी.
सरपंच बाबू आ गए क्या? हाँ नमस्कार
भैया. हाँ नमस्ते नमस्ते. क्या हुआ है, क्यों आ गए हो भोलू और छोटू?
अरे ये छोटू ना ये सब पूरे टाइम कुछ ना कुछ हर समय सारा करता है. हम आपको बता रहे हैं सरपंच जी, जब बापू गए ना उसके बाद में बापू ने बोला था आधी आधी जमीन बंटवारा कर लेना. ठीक है, तो हम अपना बंटवारा किए, पर इसको जाने क्या मुसीबत है पता नहीं.
अरे हम समझाते हैं. ये बड़े भैया हमको बुद्धू बना रहे हैं. देखिए, जब हमारे पिताजी गए तो उन्होंने बोला था कि 50-50 कदम अपने नाम कर देना. ठीक है, लेकिन हम जब चल के देखे, हम अपने पैरों से चल के देखे तो देखे कि 50 नहीं 45 ही हमारे पास है. हाँ, तो 55 लेके बैठे हैं वो.
So Chotu, what you are saying is that when you measured the land with your foot, it was 45. Is it?
45. Yes, 45.
I'll tell you, he's saying lies. I have measured it from my own feet, Baba. I did it from my feet. मेरे कदमों से मैंने गिना है. 50 कदम मेरा खेत, 50 कदम इसका खेत. Then how?
तो फिर अलग कैसे हो गया?
आप आओ कल, आप खुद देखना, आपको मालूम पड़ेगा.
सरपंच, you only decide. दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी हो जाएगा.
Okay. I will come tomorrow. Okay, I will measure from my foot. I will measure. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go. हाँ आएगा हम लोग आएंगे. हाँ अरे my God. This is so much of confusion. My God, I went to Bholu's farm, the land, and this younger brother had measured from his foot 45 units. Then I went my same foot, I went to elder brother's farm, but it came to be 40. So I am confused that my foot, somewhere it is saying 45, he is saying 50. Is my foot wrong or their farm has shrunk overnight? I don't know. I'm very confused what to do.
I understand your confusion, Sarpanch ji.
Neha ji, please solve my confusion. Now, how when my foot is wrong or that land is shrunk?
मैम आई थिंक सबके पैर का साइज अलग होता है ना, मे बी तो I that's a theory. That's a theory I have right now. Maybe different people. I think there should be some other measuring unit assigned. Maybe
अच्छा, हाँ, हम लोग गांव का, the small children were telling me international system of units. You are right.
something like that. Something like that.
Yes. So let me ask you. Let me call Chetna back. Okay, she might tell us. हाँ, हम लोग जाते आते हैं अभी.
Absolutely. Bye.
So, welcome everybody. Yes, we are right. Yes, you saw the confusion here. Yes, and this is a chapter which is taken from grade 1, 2, and 3 on SI. It is generally called as International System of Units. In short form, in some way, it is called SI. And it is what you saw was a confusion. Generally, if you see in the textbooks, this hand span is kind of a diagram where people used to
Yes.
measure the cloth with their hands. My grandmother used to measure it till she died. She never used an inchi tape. She would take a piece of cloth and measure it like this, like
Yes.
1 and 2, yeah, and also with hands. And here we had a very deeper issue because it was about property, and they had a big fight. So if they would have adopted a scientific measurement, or unit, maybe meters or kilometers, and then you also have liters. There are many now, or kilograms, which have been scientifically deduced and verified. Yes, and it's so this is how, maybe if you now come back as educators, you can do this on your own. You don't need three actors. Yes, what we call here, it's something called as TIR, which is teacher in role,
Okay.
and teacher out of role. So you establish a language with the children. It is one of the 32 drama conventions. Today we've already done 3. Freeze frame in Bade Bhai Sahib, then thought tracking when the Bade Bhai Sahib and the Chote Bhai Sahib spoke their beliefs and thoughts. And today third is teacher in role. So you establish with your children that either a scarf or a cap, maybe, that minute I take this, I will become a different character. And minute I take this out, I will be Chetna, or I'll be Neha, or I'll be Sunita. Yes, so they will then start to learn their this language. In fact, when we taught this TIR, there was a counselor of a school in our workshop, and I mean, this is beyond imagination, of course. And after 15, 20 days, she met us again in the school meeting. And she said, Chetam, I studied this with you. And you know what? I was with a girl in one of my psychological intervention space. And she would not talk. She wasn't speaking much. She said, my friend is okay. And this, she was very low. And then I remembered your teacher in role. What I did, I took a scarf and said, hi, now I'm no more Neha, I'm Reshma. Remember the friend Reshma who meets you? And the girl immediately started talking, because now it was a different person. So that's what drama makes you go into a mask and unmask, role out of role. Yes. So this you can do in role. You can become the sarpanch and say that there is a problem which has come. I met these two brothers. They are confused. So you don't need much. You don't need any dramatic skills. This is just a concept, develop, and children will start to love this TIR role more than the teacher, because this
Absolutely.
TIR role gives them more space to be non-judgmental. A lot of time, children call us back, ma'am, you go get that teacher back who was in that scarf. That she was more interesting because she was asking us more. So this is how, maybe another way is to look at a drama convention. We like you to now see another drama convention, which all of us can do. And this is one of the history lessons that our actors will perform. And I will not tell you what this theme is. Let us all guess what this theme is going to be. Okay, so let's see. This drama convention is called Tableau. Tableux, which is a French word called, in English it means a poster.
Okay.
Yes. So I will speak about 5 lines, and after each line, the actors or the characters here will pick any information which is exciting for them and create a tableau with their bodies. Yes,
Okay.
it's important
Understood.
to create, important to get the body in action, because that's where, on a psychosomal level, it stores a lot of memory. So a lot of times when we listen to a particular music, your heart starts to beat more, or when you see a particular person, you start to sweat because your body has a memory of something similar. So body has its own intelligence. So let's watch. This is a tableau form. I'll come to how it can be executed in a classroom. So you guys guess. What is it? So actors, position. So this is going to be a tableau. Let's watch in tableau form. Let's watch. Started as a revolt from the Indians in the British Army when Mangal Pandey revolted against the use of cow meat in cartridges.
Inqilab Zindabad! Inqilab Zindabad! Inqilab Zindabad!
This led to the execution of Mangal Pandey, which infuriated more and more people.
नहीं करेंगे. No.
Soon after the king, zamindars, local feudal lords of various parts of India, led by Rani of Jhansi Lakshmibai, revolted together and started taking back forts one by one.
Let's go, everyone. Let's go. Yes, over there. Let's go.
बुंदेले हर बोलो के मुंह हमने सुनी कहानी थी. Superior weaponry meant British clawed back and quelled. They doused the revolt because British had better weaponry, access to roads transport, which led to the death of Rani Jhansi. And with the support of several commanders in North, the British took back again the lost regions. But this service of various freedom fighters did not go waste. It paved the way for future. And soon after that, masses started to revolt. Revolutionary movement started to begin, and Mahatma Gandhi played a very important role.
अंग्रेजों भारत छोड़ो. अंग्रेजों भारत छोड़ो. वंदे मातरम.
Actors, release. Thank you. Thank you, actors. Wonderful. Thank you. So, any guesses? Which part of the history that we were portraying here?
It started with the revolt of 1987 till the independence of 1947.
Yes, 1857.
Actually,
Yes.
one more thing I'd like
Yes.
to point out. This was even I studied history, everything that you just enacted, and I think this one is a bit more emotive than just simple textbook. This was more rousing and overwhelming to even watch than study in textbook. That's just one thought that came to my mind.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that out about the word you said, emotive. And it also triggered a different value in your senses because it was about you watching something in the body level, which is kind of also triggering your body level emotions. And also, how do we kind of integrate this in classroom? Again, it is very simple. You can, if you're in a classroom, even this can be done online. You can divide roll number 1 to 10 and then 10 to 15, 15 to 30, and then roll number 1 to 10 or 5 may do the first part, the teacher can read out and the children can just become that. Then next roll number can do the first, second part, third part, fourth part, and fifth part. This could be one way, it just takes 5 to 7 minutes. Or you can ask them to prepare a lesson, like some part of grade roll number 1 to 10 can do some part of the story. Another set of children can do another part of the story and another part. So you can be very inventive. And this was a history lesson. We did a maths. Now I'm going to invite Lenny and Roshan to speak their experiences of other subjects and this work. Roshan, you can begin.
Okay, so this is an experience that we had in teachers workshop. So there was one of the biology teachers, and she had used this same form, tableau form, in a different way. Like she took a concept of DNA, how a DNA is generation to generation it is passed on. So And there was another teacher who also gave an idea that in Netflix there is a movie, anime movie, which has certain kind of characteristics of DNA being passed from generation to generation, right? And then she combined the story of the anime movie and this concept of DNA being passed generation to generation, and she created the entire 5 parts of the story. So it was amazing experience to see that how biology teachers could create a theatrical performance through this concept. And another, I would like to say that warm up exercises, though it is just a warm up, okay, okay, everyone raise your hands and jump around. We do this in every session of our applied theater session. But she took the concept, this warm up, in her classroom. She said, why not use this to energize the students? And the students were amazed. They were like, what has happened to ma'am? Why is she behaving weirdly? So and it was, and to her notice, and the session was very energetic and people were lively. So the students were lively. So that's how it creates, that's how the environment is created by these small steps taken by the teachers. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Roshan. And especially, I think the biology part was interesting when they integrated the story of how a great grandfather was great in an art or skill, and his generation, the next generation, were no doctors. Suddenly, the great grandchild became a great doctor. So this was a case study, and why this skill was passed, how genes work. She converted the entire story of the skill transfer through skipping a generation. Interesting. Let's go to Lini and inquire.
Yeah, thank you, Roshan, for sharing that. Yes, I also had similar experience. There was this teacher teaches in the higher grade, like 6th, 7th standard students. So she was a little bit reluctant, thinking that the drama convention exercises, the applied theater, can be applied only to the language. It can be limited to the language subjects itself only. And we were just during the training process, she applied this a particular drama convention to the topic of rotation and revolution of earth. And while she was doing this, in the process itself only, she herself came out with this thought that, oh, okay, so if at all I want this to be taken out from the children, how they have the understanding of the rotation of the earth and the making of day and night, how can I construe the paragraphs, how can I make the story? So it was a very beautiful process. Her own inhibitions got broken there while doing these drama conventions. And yeah, she came out with very beautiful exercise of rotation and how to explain that, how to make the images of that, and the imaginary axis which she made it as a friend of earth. So it was beautiful. It was highly engaging session also. Another experience of mine was we were doing this drama convention exercise, story wash, and these were kindergarten teachers. So we were doing they picked up a story which was moral based. There was a moral at the end of the story, and so we were doing the tableau from this. The previous one which you just saw, we were doing the tableau form itself only. Yes, they did, they divided the parts and everything. When coming to the end part, the moral was about to say, so we tried to explore what can be beyond. Can there be an ending which can be without moral? Can there be any other possibility? And that's what was very intriguing for me also, to see as teachers, were they ready to break that pattern? Were they ready to go beyond text and understand the possibilities? And that was there. While they were doing it, while they were embodying it, it just came for them. While embodying, while becoming that those brother and those stakes, they did, and a different possibility came other than unity's strength. So I think, yes, it can work with, teachers are the subject matter expert, of course. But when they start using these exercises, these tools, the possibilities increase much more. So yeah, this is my little experience to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Lini, for bringing in the aspect of what I think we'll all educators must kind of. I always keep it with me. Taking from Lini's cue is this book where you can see The Pedagogy of the Oppressed by Paulo Freire. It talks about the banking model of education that as we have made this as a banking model, and banking model is when we go to a bank, you take the sum of money and you deposit and you deposit. You never kind of look back. How's the money feeling and what's happening? Kahin logged rehta hai. It's similar with teachers. You okay as educators? Shayad ki okay, this is what it is. This is study this. And maybe I know we have a lot of challenges in terms of numbers, and if everybody starts to speak. However, we've seen this is possible. A lot of government schools do this as a practice. We have friends who are theatre artists who have worked with government schools with 70 children in a classroom and two of them and have really brilliantly done this work. So Paulo Freire looks at opening the space for the children and education becoming a critical thinking, a critical consciousness as a thought process. What Lini said that the moral of the story hum na bataye. Let's listen from them. What's the possibility? Because all of us, four of us here, are made of different experiences and conditioning, and each of us are right in our own way. So this is our little submission for today, and maybe at the end, Roshan can flash the drama convention slides, and then books that you can refer to, and then we can close it from our end. So these are some of the recommended books. If we can stay with this, Roshan, for the slide, is Peter Slade, Child Play, Games for Actors and Non-Actors by Boal, Drama for Learning by Dorothy Headcourt. I think maybe, Neha, you can also refer it to Dr. Sunita Gandhi and your school to look at Mantle of the Expert as a process in education. Then Process Drama, Theatre of the Oppressed by Boal, The Aesthetics of the Oppressed by Boal again. Then Helen Nicholson Applied Drama, Kala, Sangeet, Nritya or Rangmanch. This is a position paper on art, music, dance, and theater. It can be found online anywhere. If you just type NCF 2005 position papers, you will get the entire study on this. And then Azim Premji Foundation website has huge number of booklets, online booklets. One of them is one of my favorite called Ummeed Jagate Shikshak. और वहाँ पे वो free of cost में है, you can download and read it. And just to kind of give it a closure, whatever the conventions we did today, drama conventions, is we did teacher enroll, we can the scarf in and scarf out, and Mantle of the Expert we did not do today, but you can read. It is a little longer process of 40-45 minutes. Then hot sitting is a space where you can invite the characters. Maybe if we had invited the elder brother to come and sit on the chair and hot sitting, and we could have asked questions. सतीश जी आप ऐसा क्यों बोल रहे हैं, आप पढ़ाई में अच्छे हैं, कितने बजे उठते हैं, क्या खाते हैं, आप क्यों नहीं चाहते? So we can ask questions which we feel we can be asked from the character. Then there's forum theater technique, wherein we can have what we did today with Bade Bhai Saab was a bit of forum, not entirely. We could have invited Neha to be a part of this forum and come as a friend or a guardian and spoken to these two people, would have created a forum theater. वहाँ आप spectator नहीं रहती नेहा, आप spectator नहीं रहती, आप actor बन जाती. You could have been a part of it. And then today we did image freeze, जहाँ पे हम लोग tableau form में freeze हुए. There could be collective letter writing. Maybe we could have asked each of you to write a letter to Soham, who's the younger brother, telling Soham importance of play, or to Satish, the elder brother, importance of drama and play. And then collective drawing. This is another way. After you finish a literature session or a math session or geography, you can have children do a collective drawing 5 minutes of what we did today, and it leads to a lot of teamwork. ये मेरी space है, इसमें मैं draw करना, या इसकी space है, आप मत draw करना. So this can also be a recap. Yes, so this is what is our submission for today by Rangbhumi and Neha. Maybe if you'd like to say anything at the end. Thank you.
I am actually very amazed and overwhelmed right now. I have actually no words right now because we have never really come across such a wonderful topic, and a wonderful topic in a very interactive way. I was very amused that with the stories you mentioned about your other workshops, wherein biology teachers are teaching DNA through story, I never thought DNA could be taught through storytelling. I would really like to watch that anime wherein the teacher used that anime to recreate the concept of DNA in a classroom. I can only imagine how interesting it must have been for those students, and I really hope I could go back in time and tell my teachers to do all this, because otherwise there are still concepts of mine which are not clear because I learned them through the usual chalk and talk method. But if this would have been done in my time, I would have been Richard Feynman or Einstein or something. But I don't know, maybe it's something like that. Thank you so much, ma'am, and Roshan and Lini, for joining us today. It was a very interactive session. Thank you so much. And I hope I enjoyed a lot, which is why I kept popping in and out of the screen. I was trying to give you space, but also trying to, be there as well. I'm sorry if I was clumsy at some point. I wanted to be there, but also, participate. Thank you so much. It was fun as a host, and I hope you all enjoyed as well. And I think so did our audience and everyone who will watch this subsequently. Thank you so much for joining us on a Sunday, on a weekend. I hope you all have a very good evening after this. Is there anything anyone else would like to say before I conclude the session? Any parting words? Although the program has been concluded in a very beautiful manner, but if there's something else that you would like to say, ma'am, or Roshan, or Lini?
So Roshan,
Is there anything you would like to say?
Yes, so I think for me, this is a space of lot of joy, and also with Roshan, Lini at the backstage, when we work to design the curriculum, we spend a lot of time. It is very scientific. Let's not reduce this to this reductionist approach that this is for entertainment. Means बहुत सारे लोग हमें annual concerts के लिए बुलाते हैं, or at the end of the year. But this is beyond arts for art's sake. It is a curriculum, a pedagogy. So I think it's high time we all realize that this is a space. हम जो गुरुकुल system में पहले करते थे, ये वही है. Gurukul system employed all the senses. So I must say that let's invest in this more and have a good time. Yes, Roshan, Lini, maybe if you have some last words to speak.
Yeah, I must say the enthusiasm that I see during the sessions among the students. Pehle to English literature, like we started English literature through applied theater. No, sir, we are not much interested. Some students used to say, I don't read at all. But as we progress, they used to say, sir, I wait for this Monday to arrive every 8 a.m. So that's the spirit that it brings, the applied theater tools or drama conventions. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I have lots of experiences to share and say, but then quickly, just in some few lines, I would like to say is this, that applied drama incursion gives us, students, for them, it becomes just like Roshan said, it's highly engaging and energy. So the attendance rate definitely increases, and they just wait, they just love, because there is so much of non-judgmental area. Okay.
Absolutely.
Joyfulness and non-judgment. So yeah, that's my parting thing to say, that if this can be created in the classroom, excellent work.
I think that's very important also, to create a space where students can be vulnerable, where students can experiment with their thoughts, where they're not judged, where if I ask a question, I won't be judged by my peers or the teacher for asking a dumb question. I think creating that space is very important, and I think applied drama to be precise, can create that space. And I really as a student, I would have hoped for this space to be created, but I'm very enthusiastic for this generation. So that they're getting this space from the government. Also, there's a push which will push the senior management of schools and educators also to take this up at a very grand scale, not just as a part or as a mushy session that can be done at the end of the week or at the end of the session, but as a part of schooling, as a part of the culture of school and the culture of education. So that's a very wonderful thing. Thank you. I'm so happy. I would really love to listen to Lini ma'am's stories. As you mentioned, you have a lot of stories. I'm enthusiastic to listen to them, but there's only so much time we have. That's unfortunate. But we can any day host another session and invite you just to listen to all your stories only, so that we are inspired more to take applied drama. Thank you. On that note, thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope you all, continue to change the culture of education, and see you around, see you all around very soon, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Neha. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. Take care.